Hey, welcome back. In today's video, we have this Powersmart Snowblower. I'll show you what we got going on with this machine. This is the model. We just got a 212cc 24-inch snowblower. Now, the customer complained on this. He can't get this thing started. So he attempted to take this apart and work on it himself and decided it'd probably be better to take it to someone that's worked on these. Now, I have mixed reviews about these machines. Now, these Powersmart snowblowers, these are ultimately, they are a cheap machine. You know, you can pick these up in like your box stores, and you can even get them on Amazon as well. And what the deal is with these things is, what I don't like about them is too many people have their hands in them. They're manufactured by the, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, the Zhejiang Do Best Power Tool Company. They're the ones that manufacture it. But then there's another company called Amerisan. They handle with distributing and importing them into the United States. And the engines on these are a Chinese engine that are made by Lonson. And the problem with these machines is it can be very difficult to get parts for these, and a lot of shops out there, they will not work on these machines. Now, I've worked on this one before, and I had to replace the belt on it, and this is the issue you run into them. Say, for example, you go to a box store, they don't have people that service these there, for number one. They're going to give you a phone number that you can call and get in contact with someone that you can find a service center that could be 100 miles from where you live. And as well, try to find someone that can get you parts to replace your machine. Now, I already had one horror experience with this. The belt was broke on it, and I could not find a belt for this, for the auger belt, that is, let me tell you. I was on the phone with someone in Texas trying to find a belt for this, and they didn't have one. I was on the phone with someone in Illinois, couldn't get a belt for it. I ended up opting out. I had to go out on the bay, and I did find the belt that I needed for this thing. But from what some people were saying, parts are getting better for these, but I would still stay away from them if it was me personally. So let's go ahead and see what's going on why this won't start. My guess on this would be that the gas has been sitting in it too long, and the type of carburetor design that's on these machines, it's probably plugged up the main jet, and we're probably going to have to possibly pull the carburetor off on this and just clean it up and get it going. The guy wants a service done on it. So let's dive in and get busy on this. All right, well, let's see first thing if there is gas in this. Oh yeah, it's packed full of gas. It doesn't look too bad in there and doesn't smell too bad. Another thing I don't like about these machines either is to shut these things off, instead of have a kill button, you got to pull this blasted key out of here to shut the machine off. I don't like that. And everything in general on this is this all plastic, and it feels very chintzy and cheap when you work on it. This is your fuel shut-off valve here. So I'll go ahead and shut that on, turn it on, and go ahead and give her a few pumps and she'll fire off or not. Try again. Shoot. Nope, she's not wanting to start. All right. Oh my God. Well, okay. Well, I see part of the reason why it won't start. This carburetor's flopping back and forth in the breeze. So being someone's already took this apart, we're already right here. I'm gonna pull this carburetor off of it and we're gonna clean it right now. Just kind of take and lay this guy off over to the side. Your primer hose. Undo this primer hose right here. Alright, now what I do on this is I'll go grab my stud extractor. I'll take the studs off on these, that way I'm not pulling and bending on that linkage up here for your throttle and governor. This is a great tool to have in your toolbox. These are some just regular stud extractors. You can get these right on Amazon. I'll post a link inside my description if you'd like to purchase some of these. I'll show you how simple they work. They got little fingers inside. You just put on your stud, just like so, and you can turn your stud out just like this. Once once I get this carburetor out, I'm going to take and drain all that gas out of that tank and strain it and get a better look at it, make sure there's not anything in there. Who knows? I got my ethanol tester. I can see if this guy's being a good doobie and using rec fuel in these and not using ethanol based fuels. I know rec fuel costs more than ethanol fuel, but it's like I tell people, you can pay a little more now or a lot later. And pulling the carburetor off and cleaning them out, that's a lot later. These Powersmart Snowblowers, you know, if you're a shop, you know, just use discretion whenever you take these in. And I would encourage you to, you know, get online, look on some things and different posts on people put on you there and some of the nightmares they've run into. Lots of plastic, and that's the thing, this company that makes them, the manufacturer, and they outsource a lot of the parts that are made for this. Different companies make different things for this machine, so it's definitely not all made in-house. Take our spring off. Alright, our carburetor's off. Alright, we'll start by getting this thing taken apart and getting it cleaned and putting a ultrasonic cleaner. Oh, that bowl was in there pretty tight. See if we have anything inside this bowl. There we go. Yeah, not too bad in there. I've definitely seen worse. Hopefully these jets down inside here, these can be kind of a pain sometimes trying to get out. Oh, cool. That one's coming out. Sometimes these main jets in here, they can be a doozy. Try to get those things to come out. There we go. It's your main jet right there. And we got the nozzle inside. Down there, if that one, this would be nice and pop out. Yep. There's your nozzle. Alrighty. I'm gonna replace that bowl gasket, so I'll peel that off. Gasket, that bowl gasket there feels kind of hard, so definitely replacing that. See, this doesn't have an idle screw. Nope, that's been plugged off. Alrighty. Alright, throw these parts in the ultrasonic cleaner here for about 15 minutes and come back and I'll put this together. Okay, the carburetor, that's all the ultrasonic cleaner, and that's all cleaned up pretty good. I'm not going to go through and show you everything we do on rebuilding these carburetors. I've actually got a video out on rebuilding a Predator carburetor and cleaning it. That's very similar to this. I'll post a link in that in my description if you want to check that out, if you'd like to see a more detail on these type of carburetors. Now, the thing that I will show you, this is the most important thing that you need to do on these carburetors. If they have an issue, they're not starting and not picking up fuel, get yourself a set of torch cleaners, torch tip cleaners like this, and find the rod that fits your jet and just take and rod that out like so, so it's nice and clean. And when you're done with that, I just take and blast it out really good with some brake cleaner so you can see a nice steady spray coming out of that jet, and we're good with that. And this is your nozzle here. This nozzle, see all those little holes on the side? This is extremely important. You're going to want to take your torch tip cleaner and go through every one of those holes like so. Make sure that they're clean and there's no shale or lime buildup inside there, just like I'm doing here. I know it's tedious, but trust me, it's necessary. So I'll go through and I'll clean all this out really good, and I'll pop this carburetor back together, and we'll go back and we'll start putting this back on the snowblower and see about getting this thing started again. So I got a carburetor all bolted back on in this, but he sent me this cover that goes on top. It's just a heat shield for the exhaust and helps, you know, keep snow and water out of it in the winter time. And so we got to take and bolt this on, and we should be getting closer to starting this thing up. That's one thing I'm all for, you know, people trying to fix stuff, you know, but in a lot of cases, it's better if they don't, because I was missing a couple screws I see here that I had to come up with that are kind of important. Get this guy bolted back on. Okay, well, we got this all put back together now on here. Well, the only thing next to do is I checked the oil and that's okay. We'll pull this over here and see if she's going to start up or not. I even took it, put some fresh, I put some fresh gas in it as well, just because I don't know how old that gas was the customer had in here. So let's find out. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up here on this Powersmart Snowblower. And these aren't my favorite machine to work on. They're the quality. You got, everybody has their hands and they got an idea they're going to build a product and set the world on fire, selling something that's cheap for people. You know, yeah, these are they're not an expensive snowblower, but when you got 6-pack Bob and his 12-pack of beer brother going in on something and have an idea, oh, we're going to get rich and sell a bunch of stuff for cheaper for people, it's definitely going to be a good time for the people in the service industry working on this stuff. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate every one of you. If you're enjoying these type of videos, please leave a like down below. It helps the channel, and maybe consider subscribing. Until next time, I'm Sean Parmalee, and I'll see you later.